What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moose Smoke Podcast. This is episode 119. 119.
119.
I'm your host, Ryan, with my co-host, Matthew, the big Matt.
He's the host with the most.
The big sexy boy.
The most pubic hair that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's why they call me Mound Albert. I don't know. I got nothing. As you can tell, Matthew is slowly losing his voice.
I woke up this morning and my voice wasn't there anymore. But it slowly came back today, but it's still not great.
It's not great. And we're hoping that he can last an hour, but we don't know. Maybe by the end of this, he'll be Silent Bob. We don't know.
And most people say I can't last an hour, so.
I've never said that. You never disappoint, sir.
You get preferential treatment. That's why.
Yeah, you hit me first and then everybody else.
I drink a case of Red Bull before we fuck.
I hope my mom watches this episode. So how are you? Other than the lost voice, how was your week?
My week was insane. Busy. I didn't really have time to do anything, but I did. I went and saw Blink this week on Tuesday.
And how was that?
It was great.
Say great. No, I need you to go into detail.
Really good. They sounded awesome.
They sounded awesome.
Oh, wait 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, they sounded good. The show was good.
Vocals sounded good.
Yeah, the vocals sounded good. Yeah, they were tight. They sounded good. The show itself was like the instruments were not well mixed. I don't know if it was that they were not well mixed or if it's just Rogers Arena.
Is that where the Canucks play?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was inside. It wasn't outdoors.
It was inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw Lizzo there in the summer, but the difference is Lizzo's music isn't like a band. It's like a track.
Right. It might be also that just the arena is not like conducive to good sound, right? Like,
that's what I mean. The acoustics are not.
Guitars are gonna echo like crazy.
Yeah, it was like a not very nice mix. Like it was pretty like blurry. We'll say.
Do you not have like any good outdoor arenas or areas there for like?
We don't have any outdoor venues.
Really?
No.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any.
Nothing that could accommodate a thing of that size. It was pretty. Yeah. It was pretty full. So.
Yeah. Well. It's Blink. I mean, it's always gonna sell it.
So there was that, and then Wednesday I went and saw Indiana Jones, which I can talk about when we talk about what we watched. But yeah, that was a kind of advanced screening with my buddy Sean, who also was on Whip Wednesday Live, although it was on Friday this week.
Whip Freaky Friday
Live.
Yeah, I only could stick around for like 15 minutes there, but
that's nice that you stuck around. Nice that you popped in at all. So
I try, buddy. I try.
Yeah, and then Thursday we sold our condo before we even fucking listed it. So it's fucking nuts, man. We're moving. It's crazy.
Congrats, buddy.
Thanks.
I know that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah. It was we did like a private showing, and we got an offer like 2 hours later, and then we counter offered, and then we signed all the paperwork like 2 hours past that. So congratulations.
I'm proud of you guys.
Nuts. Yeah, we technically haven't really locked down our new place to live yet, but well, we know it's good. So it's
it's locked.
Issue, but yeah. Like we know we have it, but we still haven't technically signed anything.
Yeah, I mean, in buying anything like of that value, it doesn't matter if it's my value of a house or the value of houses out there. It's scary committing that kind of money to something, but I mean. As we've discussed privately, it's a huge investment and a big life move, and like that's great.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you
some
guys.
Things that are shit, like the drive, but everything else is gonna be good. I'll have a nice dedicated space to be able to do my hobbies and my podcasting, so that's cool.
So you're slowly gonna see the reverse of shelf shuffle, shelf taking.
Yeah, it's shelf packing up.
Shelf delete.
I'm gonna do that for live streams. Everyone's gonna be really interested in watching me take things off a shelf.
Hey, everybody!
In the bags.
Watch me box things. It's not an unboxing.
Yeah, it's a reboxing.
D in the chat. What up?
Oh, hey D. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Yeah. So So the next with this happening, a lot has to kind of change, right? So we're out of our condo. as of August 11th, we'll probably move into the new place like the first week of August, like the long, like the holiday week probably.
Right, because you can move things whenever you want. Like
we can start moving shit like tomorrow if we want.
Yeah.
So
that's a bonus of having that house the way it is, like family owned or whatever. Just because like I did the same thing when I bought my house, obviously, because it was my mom's house, and like you could kind of set it up that way where it was like, okay, we can take care of things as we need to, rather than it has to be right away. It has to be this date, you know?
Yeah. So we're going to do it earlier and be basically out of it by the time we hand over the keys, and have been out of it for a bit. So
right on.
And then I'm going to start working on, I have to actually call next week to get a permit so I can build the studio in the backyard, because I'm building a 10 by 16 studio to put all my toys and to podcast and do live streams in. So, but in doing that, I'm probably going to not be podcasting and streaming until I'm back, until I have a place to do it. You know, I'll probably still do this, but might have to be like dumbed down.
Yeah, no, I mean, you do what you got to do, buddy. I'm not going to pressure into anything. And we're going to, we're going to be doing Fan Expo anyway. It's going to be as low budget as shit when we're there to do a podcast.
I mean, realistically, I feel like I probably won't have a space ready until like end of September. If I had to guess, I'd say like end of September is probably. I mean, I'd love to like, and then once I have the space, instead of doing Whip Wednesdays and stuff, I'll probably spend the rest of that year like setting up. Like I'll probably take for Whip Wednesdays. I'll probably like after July, I'll probably be done for until next year.
Oh wow,
probably. Maybe I'll be able to do more, but I'm just gonna focus on getting it set up and doing what I need to do. So after it gets built, we're gonna do the inside. We're gonna drywall it, and
you should do like progressive photos and shit too.
I will be,
and just so you can do an episode and just like talk about it, because I think that's cool. I always like seeing like the changes and shit like that.
Yeah, well, I have a bunch of Jay Shot's here too.
What up?
Or Jay's hot if you're horny.
I love that. I'm always horny, so it works out.
I know. So Jay's hot it is. So that's the plan. So yeah, I have a bunch of ideas. Like obviously, you know, when you get to build something custom to like house your hobbies. Hey now.
Hey now.
When you have something that you can make to like your specifics, like there's a lot of things I can do, right? So I'm gonna make it
be wired the way you want it. It can be designed the way you want it. You can have lighting where you need it. Like
I'm gonna have cameras on little bendy arms all above my workspace and stuff. It's gonna be good. So
yeah, dude, I'm very excited. Like you showed me a brief like
little
planogram
setup
or whatever the fuck it is of what you want, and like I'm like, yeah, dude, that's dope. So
yeah, man. And I also am gonna buy a speaker for my bass amp, and
I want you to start playing again, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna start playing again.
That's all I've ever wanted is you to do creative music shit, because I think you're just a fucking talented motherfucker, and I want to hear your music. So,
well, you might not hear my music, but I'm gonna start playing again.
You might record something that you just show me and not publicly, but
maybe maybe.
I don't know. I would love, honestly. I mean, I know this is like a big ask, but if you designed like a 30-second ditty for like the entrance theme to the podcast, I'd be in.
Yeah, maybe one day I would do. I've always wanted to do one for mine too, but I just
do it. You should
see. We'll see.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot, honestly. I watched a ton of shit this week, and I almost broke my ankle yesterday. So
you're telling me? That's
I was helping my dad out and tripped on the porch step. I missed a step and fucking planted my fucking face on the ground and thought I broke my ankle, but luckily it's just severely bruised. So
I mean, that still sucks, but
it's not great. I mean,
better than a break.
Yeah. But this taught me that I shouldn't be doing stuff anymore. I should just stay in a
Anytime someone asks you, "Hey Ryan, can you help me with this?" Nah, sorry, man, I can't break my ankles.
I'm past the age of 30, man. I just can't do it anymore. I'm sorry.
I need to stay home. I need to be safe.
I don't want a plastic hip by the time I'm 40. So, I just so I've been resting my foot all day today, and it's hot as shit here. It's just torturing me. So, I'm sweating profusely right now, and just nothing.
That's why the case lights are on. That's why the tank top's on, because it's just too fucking hot.
Yeah, I just got an undershirt on because I'm like, fuck this. It's boiling.
Yeah, it's hot.
But yeah, other than that, I watched like an insane amount of material this week. And
why don't we change it up? You can tell me what you watched first.
Sure. So I want to talk first about a little show that you and I will recall. Some of our younger viewers may not know, but I was a huge fucking fan of this show in the early 90s, and that's American Gladiators.
Oh yeah, there's that Netflix doc, right?
So there's a Netflix doc on Netflix, that was redundant, called Muscles and Mayhem, the unauthorized story of American Gladiators. And
that's your book's name too. That's convenient.
Muscles and Mayhem right here. I think it's 5 parts. I think it's about
that was Muscles and Mayo. Sorry.
I hate mayo. No mayo in my story. Yeah, it's all about the American Gladiators in the show, that how it came to be, what was the like original ideas coming into it, and then like a deep dive with individual interviews with the actual American Gladiators.
The whole story is pretty crazy, eh?
It's mental.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to spoil it here because I want people to go out and watch it, but like it's definitely stuff that I did not pick up on when I was watching it as a kid. Like obviously, I mean, my mind would not have gone to like some of the places that go of drug use and stuff like that. But like now seeing it through adult eyes, I'm like, God damn, like that show was fucked up. And that was a toxic ass show. But it made me want to watch American Gladiators really bad. So I watched a few episodes of that on YouTube. I guess all the seasons are on YouTube.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can. I'll talk about a link later. I don't have it on me handily, but I remember they brought it back in like I think it was 2008 with Hulk Hogan was the host.
Yep,
and it was okay. It wasn't great, but then there was a rumor going around that Seth Rogen bought the rights to it.
Oh.
And that he wanted to adapt it like presently. I guess this was like 2019 or 2020 when they were talking about it. I don't know if that's still happening or not, but like I would love that show to come back, and I'm like how it hasn't.
It was a cool show.
Like I don't know, you have all these like Ninja Warrior shows and all that shit. Like American Gladiators is that, but like more physical, and I don't know. I dig it. So yeah, I recommend that. I went back and watched The Problem with Jon Stewart season 1, which I had just watched season 2 when it came out this year,
nice.
But I need
to watch that too.
It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, I like Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart's awesome, and he's so funny.
Very funny.
Then there's another Apple show called The Big Door Prize. It had already aired that I missed out on. I think it was 10 episodes. They're like 30-minute episodes each, but basically the premise of the show is this machine shows up in town, like this I don't know, like little arcade cabinet vending machine, basically, where you go in and it tells you what your life's achievement should be. So like you'll go in and it'll tell you like musician, you're supposed to be a musician. That's your life's goal, or like teacher or whatever. And nobody knows where this machine came from. Nobody knows how it got there. It just showed up. And so all the townspeople start using this machine and like drastically change their lives, because what they're doing in their lives isn't what the machine tells them to do. So it's like they were whatever doctor, and then all of a sudden it was like you should have been a professional. Now they're
an American Gladiator,
right? They got American Gladiator, so now they're outside working out and fucking trying to be an American Gladiator,
hitting
right?
People
like,
with giant pillows on the ends of sticks.
Yeah, exactly. So it all like cascades from there, where people start getting divorced and like fucking all this stuff because of the machine. And it's like a comedy drama type show, but it's good. I recommend it. It's like 10 episodes. They go by pretty quick. You can watch it in like 4 or 5 hours. Season finale of From happened, and the season finale of Silo happens.
Nice.
Second season was a little bit mixed.
Okay. That's the one that Neil suggested to you, right?
Yeah, no, I mean Neil recommended a lot of shit to me. Jay Shot asking, who was your favorite gladiator? Ice. 1,000% Ice.
Wasn't there one named Turbo? I don't remember them
Turbo.
From one to another, but I remember they all had cool names, and I was like, I want to be that name.
I when I was a kid, for some reason, I was always like Ice. I think because MC Hammer or Vanilla Ice had that Ice Ice Baby song.
Yeah, there you go, Ice. Yes,
and
yes.
And so every time she came out, it was like that song. I was a huge fucking I don't know. I love that Vanilla Ice song, so I was like, "Ice, Ice, baby," and like, yeah, I don't know. I love it. I watch it with my mom all the time. Like, I have such fond memories of that show.
Toy Galaxy there's like a YouTube channel called Toy Galaxy, and they did like a deep dive on American Gladiators, and it was very interesting. Like, there's so much, like you said, there's so many things that you would never know unless you deep dived into it, and it's like the story behind it all is like pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah, like just, I mean, again, I can't get into it without spoiling things, but just like the Gladiators are royally fucked over, like royally fucked over.
Yep.
Like all the merchandise and shit that came out of that show, they got 0% of. They got nothing from it. The Nintendo game, all the toys, all the figures, all that stuff. They got.
Man, I used to love the toys. They were so fucking cool.
I had the NES game.
Oh, nice.
I loved it. I was like obsessed with it. It was impossible. It was the hardest game ever.
Hard.
Yeah,
I remember it being hard.
But yeah, the From finale, it was okay. The Silo finale was fucking awesome. That show is so good, and it made me really want to buy the books and read the books because it's based off a book, and because I assume the next season's not going to come out for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
you have to fill in the gaps somehow.
Fuck, I kind of want to read the books and just see what's going to happen.
Nice.
Still watching Platonic. Still watching Eric Andre's show.
Nice.
There's a new show called Hijack on Apple that's with Idris Elba.
Yes, I heard about it. He was on Smartlist last week.
Oh, okay.
I think it's on this week. On like I get them early because I have Amazon Music. So
gotcha.
But
yeah, I love Idris Elba. I think he's an awesome actor. But
yeah, he's great. He's really good.
The show's all right. It's only 2 episodes in so far, so I don't know really where it's going. But it's about like a plane hijacking, and he's on the plane, and it has an interesting concept. So I'm just gonna watch that now that Silo and From are done, and season 3 of The Witcher started on Netflix.
Oh yes.
I love The Witcher video game.
It's the last Henry Cavill season, right?
Yeah, he's done after the season. They released 5 episodes to start, and then 3 more are coming out at the end of July. Okay. But yeah, I love Henry Cavill in the show, and like he does a great job portraying Geralt. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not really super into fantasy, but since I played the video game, I kind of connect with the show.
Into it.
Yeah, and the girl that plays Yennefer is one of the most beautiful women alive, so I can watch that show just for her. But yeah. And then Jack Ryan came back on Amazon Prime with John Krasinski. It's the last season of that. First 2 episodes are out. It's okay. I mean, it's Jack Ryan. If you like spy espionage shit, that's what it is. It's not anything that's going to surprise you. And then lastly, The Idol, which is the HBO show with what's her face? Fucking Johnny Depp's daughter. I can't think of her name.
That's that one you were telling me about. That's kind of like Britney Spears-esque. Like
it's like a pop star that goes everything that goes wrong with being a pop star, but the show's like fucking getting ripped apart, like review wise. Like everybody hates it. I like the premise of the show. I think it's an interesting premise. I think the show is like way too sexualized. Like it's insane what they're putting into the show to the point where I was like, this is almost uncomfortable to watch. I don't know why they're doing it that way, but like I don't know. I just find it like it's like perverted for the point of being perverted. Like there's no reason for it. It's just there. Thanks, Jay Shot. Have a good night.
Good night, my friend. Peace.
But yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's interesting, but the last episode is this Sunday. It's only a 5-episode season. So. I think it was supposed to be 6 episodes. They cut an episode apparently. Apparently the show went through like massive production and story changes throughout, and it's already rumored that HBO is canceling it before the finales even aired. Who knows if that's true, but I like the premise of it. Like I think it's an interesting idea. I just think it needs to be handled better. But we'll see. And that's about it. I played some more Diablo tonight, and that's about it.
Word.
How about you?
I didn't watch a lot, but I did watch. I finished off that Happy Valley show that I was watching with Kate. We finished on Monday. It was okay. It was whatever. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it was more her thing than yours, right?
Yeah, it was more just me watching, and I did kind of stick around when she watched Black Mirror this week, but I probably couldn't really even speak to it because I didn't pay close enough attention to anything. So
my friends watched that, but I'm not into Black Mirror. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah. I watched, as I was saying earlier, I went and saw Indiana Jones on Wednesday.
And how was that?
It was fine. Like, I mean, as somebody who has no attachment to Indiana Jones, I've only seen the first one when you and I watched it last year for the first time.
Yeah, we hated it.
And we hated it, and we shit talked it for like an hour.
Yeah.
It was,
as we do.
But I mean, honestly, like, it was pretty fun, I guess. Like, it was, I don't know, it was like just action bit after action bit, and I think a lot of the like fan service stuff was obviously missed on me because like I don't fucking know anything. So
sure.
But it seemed like there was a lot of like moments where people were like, "Oh shit," but I was just like, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Sure. I mean, you're not a big action guy either, though. So
I'm not. Yeah, it was whatever. It was fine, I guess.
You liked it better than the first one, I assume.
I did. Yeah. It didn't inspire me enough to want to go back and see anything else, but it was fine.
Cool.
Yeah. I enjoyed it enough that I was present throughout, and it was whatever. It was fine.
Harrison Ford, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was great too. Even the de-aging at the beginning, they kind of spend the first 20 minutes or so like when he's young. So like there's like a whole bunch of de-aging stuff in the beginning part where they're like it's just up close and it's just him talking and no action.
Sure.
That part is like the de-aging is not great, but
I think you can always tell that it's like even if you don't know the actor, I think it's noticeable when they do de-aging shit.
It's the lips, man. They don't move realistically.
It's the eyes and the lips.
Yeah,
the eyes. Like I find that in video.
The eyes I didn't notice so much, but the lips for sure.
In video games, like so often when something's like acted, you can see it, but the eyes like don't match where you would be looking if you're in like a conversation with somebody. Like they'll be like off to the side sometimes and shit like that, or like they're going back and forth really quick, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? But I don't know. I always find the de-aging stuff in CG like it's the lips and the eyes that are just like, whoa, that doesn't look right. But.
Yeah. So it was whatever. And then what else? I watched Always Sunny. I watched Secret Invasion. Watched both twice, and I think that's probably it. I don't remember. Maybe there's more, but I think that's it. But Blink was great.
That's good, man. I'm glad you had fun.
Me too. I want to see them again. Mark did a little talk about his cancer and everything, and it was like kind of sad, but it was good.
Sad as in,
and they played sad as in like he kind of just told the story about what happened and how grateful he is to be alive, and I guess maybe
it's happy sad.
Yeah, happy sad. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I mean, you have vast experience with cancer, and I mean,
I sure do.
He
had the same cancer that my dad started with.
Yeah, it's scary. Cancer's always scary, and it's no good. I've had family members that have cancer and friends that have had cancer, and it's scary shit. Mm-hmm. Nothing to fuck with.
Nothing to fuck with. It's like the Wu-Tang Clan.
No, man. Fuck cancer, man. Fuck cancer. So.
Bird.
No, I'm like I said, I respect Mark. I'm glad they're back. I'm glad they're doing their thing. I'm glad they're together and everything like that. But there's just like 0% of me that cares. Like
that's fair.
I wish I cared because they were my favorite band for so long. But like, there just hasn't been any music they've put out in the last like 15 years that I give a shit about. So it's like, if they can prove it to me with the next album and they're like the next album's a banger, then I'll get right on the bandwagon again. But like, to put out that kind of coin to see them live after I've seen them twice, I'm like, there's nothing.
I mean, my complaints, my only live complaint about them is the same as it's been for the last 15 years, which is just it's the same set list over and over again. It's 26 songs, 20 of them are singles.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But I mean, like, it was cool to see them play Cynical and Bored to Death off of California and have Tom singing Matt's parts. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
It's Blink-182 Day today too, by the way.
It is. I really thought we'd get an album date drop, but
I know. I hope we get one soon. I just want another song. That'd be great.
Yeah, I have a feeling this album's late this year or next year.
I think they said October is what they said.
Well, that was a rumor. Yeah, it was. Travis said it was October as far as he knows, but yeah, I mean, like I said, if the album's a banger, I'll be back in. But the single didn't do anything for me, and the last few albums didn't do anything for me. So
I will say that the single sounds really good live.
That's good.
I hope that the songs they wrote like make sense live and like translate well live, because I'd love to see them play them.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm sure they'll do another tour after the album's out anyway.
I think so too.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's hard with a band that plays mostly singles, right? It's like if this is your first time seeing that band, you want them to play all those hit songs because you love those songs. But like for people that have known the band forever, it's like
fuck. When it's your sixth time seeing them, it's like
I don't want to hear fucking whatever, again. Like it's just.
I mean, I guess in some ways, I'm like at least I got to hear new songs that I haven't heard live before. Like I've never like been in person and heard like Man Overboard live. I've heard it in bits. Like when they did, remember in 2014 when they toured off Neighborhoods, they did like those medleys. They did 2 medleys where there was like 4 songs all put together to make one song kind of thing.
Yeah,
they did Man Over. Yeah, they did Man Overboard in that, but I've never heard the full song and like in its entirety played. And then both the songs off California and Edging. So I got to hear 4 songs that I haven't heard live before. So that was kind of good.
No, that's great, man. I like I said, like I wish they would do a fan chosen set list at some point where like I don't know how they would do it exactly, but a website set up where fans could vote on what songs they want them to play that night or whatever. I'm sure
I just don't think they can change it, because I think the reason why they can't really stray too far is because the stage stuff that goes with each of the songs, it kind of has to be planned out in advance. Like you can't just change on a dime. It's all kind of set up, right? So
I mean, then you do like a variation of the set list. Like you have 2 or 3 different set lists where there's 6 songs that rotate through or whatever. Like when I seen Muse the last time, they did a really cool thing where they had like a roulette wheel, and every night they rolled the ball on the roulette wheel, and wherever it fucking landed is the song they played for that song that night.
Oh, cool.
So like they had like 2 or 3 options on the roulette wheel, and then whatever it landed on. So there was like 2 or 3 songs they did that with, where depending on where they were, like the set list changed it in that way. Cool. I think you could do like some cool things like that for some of these bands, but like I just think like if I went to go see Blink again, I'd want it all B-sides. But obviously, if this is your first time going to see Blink, you want them to play Rock Show. You want them to play
like there was Adam Song. It seemed like there was a lot of people's first times. Like they asked and everyone cheering, and there was like a pretty big ovation when they were like, "Who's here for their first Blink?"
But you got to think like, their big era of music was like late 90s to 2003 2004. So like
I agree,
there's 18 19-year-old kids that never have gotten to see this iteration of Blink, really.
Well, I had to explain to a 20-year-old that works with me, because last week someone was like, he's going to see Blink tonight, and they're like, what's that? And I had to explain to them what Blink was, and I was like, it's basically just like pop punk music and like 50-year-old guys that make dick jokes. That's pretty much just that's like the best way to describe their live show.
Like the realization that like somebody could have been born in like 2001 and they're like 22 years old now, just like it hurts my head. It makes me sad. Wild. So yeah, there's people that have been born that weren't around for, take off your pants and jacket. Like, it's just the way it is. We're old.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Let's get into Sunny.
Don't we have something first?
Oh, right. I forgot about it. If you didn't say that, I would have totally forgot about it.
Oh, I'm glad I said it.
And this is a second edition of the Moose Milk Media Dumpster Fire from IMDb. These are the 4 lowest rated MCU movies. Which one is the lowest, Matthew? Which one is the lowest? We have A.
Lowest like fan score?
Critical rating, yes.
Critical rating, okay.
So we have Thor: Love and Thunder, Ant-Man: Quantumania, Incredible Hulk, or The Eternals. Those are the 4 lowest MCU movies critically rating on IMDb. What is the lowest?
I'm gonna say it's The Eternals.
You'd be wrong, sir. You would be wrong. It is Ant-Man: Quantumania.
Oh wow!
It
My
has
next option would have been Thor. So
Thor actually was. It's bounced up by like 2 points, I guess, recently. Ant-Man has a 6.1 on IMDb, and Thor Love and Thunder has a 6.2, so they're not far off.
Okay.
Eternals has a 6.3, and Hulk has a 6.6.
Okay.
Almost all the movies in the MCU are above a 7. Like, there's very few movies that are below a 7, but I thought for sure, like Thor 2, I thought was going to be like way down there. I thought Iron Man 2 was going to be way down there. Nope. It's
I wouldn't think Iron Man 2 was, even though I don't like it. I figured it would be up there.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that it's almost all Phase 4 movies. Tells you a lot. But that's the second edition of the Moose Monkey Media Dumpster Fire. And Matt is 1-1. You got last week right. You got this week wrong. So we'll keep score. We'll tabulate. Next
time I'll fucking nail it.
He will. I have faith. Just like,
let's talk about Always Sunny.
Yeah, let's get into it. This is what, episode 5? Episode 6? I don't remember. I can't
keep track.
I think it's
episode 5.
I think it's episode 5 as well.
Yeah.
This was all about the alcohol.
What was it called? Do you remember? I can't remember what it was called.
Look it up. It's all about the alcohol branding of celebrities. Whew, it is so hot in here. I am melting. Whew. Hold on. I'm looking it up right now, and it is called Celebrity Booze: The Ultimate Cash Grab. It was directed by Megan Gans and written by all 3 guys.
Love that.
Yeah. So we only got, that was episode 5. We have 3 more episodes left of this season. But
nice.
Yeah, I thought this episode was great. Another
funny,
very funny episode.
I think this is the best one so far.
I liked last week's more, but it was.
Did you?
Yeah, it was my second favorite for sure. Like, it's right up there. These are 2 solid episodes.
Yeah, they're really funny. It's really good. So this one's about they see that Bryan Cranston has his alcohol company or whatever
with Aaron Paul,
and they're with Aaron Paul, and they're like trying to promote it or whatever, and then they decide they want to get in front of Bryan Cranston to like pitch their alcohol ideas. So it starts with them like trying to come up with like their own alcohols that they can like try to pitch to them, and it's just so fucking funny, man. Like,
but even before that, the opening of like Dennis explaining to them the situation, and then like them slowly realizing like this is their plan is like, oh, we're gonna do this, yeah. Like how they're talking at first how lame it is, and then they're like, no, we're gonna do this. And like I love that, and then them coming up with their own alcohol ideas, and Charlie's nickel schlager is just
nickel schlager. You grind up a bunch of nickels and put it in
because of how classy Goldschlager is.
He calls it the working man's blend or something.
The working man's blend. And I love that they all are like, no, that's a terrible idea. That sounds like terrible. And then he's like, well, I'm gonna do it.
Then later on, he's like, oh, does anybody want a drink of this? And they're like, what is it? And he's like, it's Nickelschlager. He's like, I've been drinking it all day. And he goes through a metal detector, and his stomach beeps.
He's like, why is my stomach beeping, guys? He's like, because it's full of nickels. It's great. He's like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go outside and puke that up, and I'll be right back. He's dressed as a limo driver. It's great.
That was so funny. He's dressed as a and fucking Max fucking like leisure suit. Like,
yeah, he's dressed as Michael Jordan in like early 90s. It's
so funny. Oh, you don't know who Michael Jordan is?
he's got the one earring in like Michael Jordan had, and like it's so good.
So funny.
That whole thing was great. I love that they flipped the roles from Breaking Bad of like Bryan Cranston being like the kind of the boss over Aaron Paul, and then they flipped it for this where Aaron Paul's like the boss and Bryan Cranston's like very much subdued and like very like scared almost. And very submissive to Aaron Paul. It's great. I love the role reversal. I love Frank and Dee doing playing.
I love how they played that with like Mac and Dennis too, where like
I'm not allowed to talk either. So good. Frank
the plane thing was funny too.
Frank having a private airplane and just driving around over Philadelphia so that he can evade tax laws that makes it look like he's gone to Aruba is awesome. Dee doesn't know. She's stuck on the plane with him and then has to eat a fucking box of oysters.
A can of oysters.
That's called
like
Tony's
Danza's?
oysters. Tony's oysters in a Danza or in a Kanza.
In a Kanza.
He's like, yeah, I didn't go anywhere. It didn't work. It didn't take off.
From the late 80s.
Yeah. She's eating like 35-year-old can of oysters.
So funny.
So good. I loved it. And yeah, I mean, Charlie puking Nichols out on the limo driver is awesome.
That was fucking great. That was so funny.
It was just a great episode. Like, I love the idea of
Middle.
it.
He calls him Mr. Middle because he thinks he's like, I got him and the boy.
He thinks it's Malcolm and his dad.
It's Malcolm.
And like, I love that that's the reference point. It's not bad that there'll be the reference point. It's Malcolm in the middle that's 30 years old. Like, it's yeah, the fact that he kept calling Bryan Cranston Mr. Middle is just awesome.
So good.
Yeah, I loved it. I love, like, oh, that Malcolm kid's all growing up. It's just it's great. It was a great episode, and like they really like got the right tone to this entire episode. Like, it's back to being like very just like these random ass plans and things that they're doing, and instead of like this storyline, like it's good.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. So and like even the whole bit with where Charlie like ends up being the limo driver after he pukes on the actual limo driver.
Yeah.
And then he's like turning around, like talking to them while he's driving, and he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Sorry," he's like, "It's been a minute since I drove." The guy's
so
like,
good.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's great. I love that so much, and I love. I mean, I don't know if you even got the reference, but when they go into the bathroom and they think that Jalen Hurts went into the bathroom, Jalen Hurts is the quarterback for Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
He's like a young like black man. So Mac thinking that he sees Jalen Hurts, and then they go in there and they see Gritty, the mascot for the Philadelphia Flyers, is just fucking awesome. He's like, how did you confuse a black man and a big fucking monster? It's just awesome. And like I'm shocked that they got fucking Gritty to be like, I obviously, I mean,
so that's a real thing?
That's the Philadelphia Flyers mascot.
Oh god, that's great.
Yeah, he's got like this big redheaded like fucking monster, like I don't know, it's hideous, but it's awesome. And clearly, I mean, Rob McElhenney getting into the sports world, like
it's pulling favors.
He's pulling favors with sports teams, but like, and I just love that like when the like other little black guy walks by, Rob's like, oh, there he is. There's Jalen Hurts. It's like it looks nothing like Jalen Hurts, but
it's just a black guy.
Yeah, it's just another black man.
In common with anything else.
It's just it just worked. It tickled my funny bone the whole time.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was great. I loved the entire episode. I thought it was a very another solid, great episode.
Yeah, I really liked it. I was laughing my ass off. I watched it multiple times last night. So
yeah, I watched it on Wednesday, and then I watched it again tonight. So. Nice.
I couldn't get to it until yesterday, but I watched it before my or right after Whip Wednesday, and then I watched it again after I had to take some pictures of a figure I finished. So
nice.
Again after.
Yeah, so next week we have the Chuck E. Cheese ripoff episode. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but Risky Rat, which was written by Rob Rosell, who was just on their podcast. So
nice.
I have a feeling it's gonna be really good too. And then the following week is another episode written by Megan. So I think we're in for some bangers.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, it's directed by Megan. Sorry, it was written by the guys. So
next week's one?
No, this 2 weeks from now. Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, that's Sunny. Let's get into.
It was great.
Sunny
was great.
Yeah.
Can't wait for next week's. I enjoyed it.
2 full glasses of milk.
2 giant frothy glasses of loose milk.
Yeah, buddy. Soak it in. Make a pool of it. Secret Invasion I watched twice as well because I couldn't. It was good, and I couldn't remember almost anything that happened after I watched it, so I had to watch it again just to like re-energize my memory. Because I watched so much shit this week that it was gone. But it was another great episode. I liked it.
It was a good episode. Yeah, it's nice to see some of like the story moving forward, and you know, I like the whole bit with like, I mean, there's a lot of things in this I liked. I liked the interaction between Rhodey and Fury, and how Rhodey's like fires him or whatever. I thought that was really great. I liked the interaction between Fury and Maria Hill's mom.
So did I.
Which I thought was really good. Was really great as well.
I felt like we finally got some Fury background that like I think was desperately needed to like humanize him a little more. Like we don't know anything about him, really.
Yeah, true.
And this episode finally made me realize that like they really wanted to like humanize him. Like he has that story about on the train when he's talking to Talos about his childhood and being on the train with his mom, and they play this game of
ask me something or
tell me something I don't know.
Tell me something I don't know.
And him reminiscing about that, I was like, it made him more human. Like you know, I like that. Like I don't know, I just thought it was a good character progression.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I also liked the how they flash back at the beginning to Captain Marvel.
Yeah, early mid-90s.
Like, how like he kind of pulls together all the Skrulls and basically promises them that, you know, in return for like, you know, watching over Earth and, you know, protecting Earth, he'll find them a house, like a new planet of their own or whatever.
But staying hidden too is key. You know, they have to stay hidden because they don't want this like big, you know, panic happen to Earth. So they agree to stay hidden and protect Earth while he finds them a planet, which he doesn't follow through on.
Yeah.
Which I think is good because like that is I mean, it's been 25 fucking years since, you know, that happened or whatever. Like we do need that explanation of like, why did this never happen? And it's because the Avengers happened and you got busy and, you know, Thanos happened and then he went to space and, you know, all that shit. So I like that they call that back and they hold him accountable for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that as well. I like, there's a, like you said, it was a good, like, it was a good way to kind of humanize Nick. Like we finally get his kind of story, his background and all that, right? Like, I quite liked it. So it was
even
nice
with Maria's mom, like you said, like showing his emotional side of like he really let this woman down, and her mom saying like she would have followed you to the gates of hell. She trusted you and you let her fucking down. Like, and you can see that like hitting him, like that human moment of like, fuck, you know, I like that.
That's the thing is I like that he like totally owned it too, right?
Totally.
Like, you know, it's like she's dead because of you, and he's like, yeah.
And like everybody else was giving her the runaround of like that typical, you know, military shit. We can't talk about it. It's classified or whatever, you know, whether that's true in real life or not, but at least in shows, the way they show it off of like, we can't talk about it. It's classified. And him going, no, she died in Moscow. Like, I was trying to protect her. They were trying to get me, and instead they took her to get to me. And, you know, I'm sorry, kind of thing. And it was good. It definitely humanized him.
It's interesting to see the relationship between Talos and Fury, like kind of coming to where it is now, right? So on that train scene, we find out that Talos hasn't really been 100% honest with Nick about, you know, how many Skrulls are on Earth already, and like when Nick finds out, he like fucking flips his gasket, like just full on blows up.
You got to think about that. Like 1 million Skrulls on the planet that are unaccounted for. They don't know who they are. They don't know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And how fucking fucked up that could be, where like there was a lot of times during this episode, I'm like, we don't know if this person's a Skrull or not. We like, even when Rhodey's firing Nick, I'm like, Rhodey might not even be real. Rhodey could be a Skrull right now. We don't know.
That's what my mind said too. I was like, is Rhodey a Skrull? Because I kind of get the feeling like he is. So
because I just feel like he was so cold to Nick during that conversation. And I'm like, I don't know if Rhodey would be this like, I don't know, like cold and menacing about it. Like,
I feel like he would, but
I feel like they're kind of boys at some point though. Like, I don't know.
I feel like he's one character who I can get behind, like, you know, seeing things from the government side of you. Like, remember when they talk about the Sokovia Accords or whatever in Civil War? He's the one that kind of defends it.
Sure.
You know,
he's always got the government's back, and he's always been that way. Like even with Iron Man 2, when or well, I mean, kind of Iron Man 1 before it was recast even, but like him talking about like, what do you mean you're pulling out of weapons and all that kind of stuff? Like, that's who you are, Tony. Like, that's the relationship. But I always thought too, and I thought this episode kind of missed that token of like after Maria's death, Rhodey's being saying like, Tony Stark was my boy, and like I let him down, like he's gone and I didn't do anything to help him. Like kind of having that emotional side of it too, of like I know what it is to lose somebody, and that's the game we're in.
Yeah.
And I thought they could have like went down that path a little bit more, but
sure.
Yeah, it worked. That whole conversation, I thought
at that point it kind of would turn it around and kind of be more focused on Rhodey. Maybe that's why they didn't, because I feel like this was really an episode that fleshed out Nick Fury a lot. So
sure. That's a good point. Yeah, I also like. I liked Talos's daughter there, Gaia.
Gaia. Yeah.
She
and the story about the freedom fighter Skrull. What's his name?
I can't remember his name either, but like when she was on that computer and looking at like the different programs that were going on there, and it said like Groot and it said Extremis, and there's two other things, like one of the
there's one of the Black Order characters,
right?
Sidious Call,
and there was the like ice things from Thor. I can't remember.
The Frost Giants.
That clearly those are all programs that like they're knowing about and interested in. And then like later on in that episode when what's her face is interrogating the guy in that like meat locker or whatever. When she injected him with that thing, I thought she injected him with Extremis at first.
Extremis, yeah.
Because he started like heating up like they do in Iron Man 3, and I was like, oh shit, they're bringing back the one through line of this like one of the through lines of the MCU that they never fucking touched on again since Iron Man 3. Like it just didn't make any sense that like Pepper was injected with Extremis, like she got like those like she had whatever the powers were from it, and like they never touched on it again. It was just like, oh, that's forgotten. Fuck it.
Yep.
And I thought this was their way of like making that kind of make sense of like maybe that's gonna happen later on in the series, but like I thought that was cool, and that
I think they're leading to like Super Skrulls, which is like in the comics, it's like Skrulls that have the powers of certain like heroes.
Right.
So like, you know, there's a scene from a trailer from Secret Invasion where like that Skrull general, like his hands change into like Groot arms, and they like so I'm assuming that those 4 components that she sees on that computer will be the powers that the Super Skrulls have. So they'll probably have Groot powers, they'll probably have Frost Giant powers, maybe Extremis, and I mean, I'm into that. You could do with Cull, but
I'm sure there's something we're not thinking of. But
yeah,
I like that. I like that idea there.
Get their hands cut off.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was cool, and like, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. The fact that they brought up like why the Avengers are getting called in.
Yes.
Is because they don't want a bunch of Skrulls to
impersonate
them and manipulate them, and then the public not to trust who is an Avenger and who is not. And I
like
that.
That is a good
something I didn't think of at all last week, and I'm like, that makes sense. Good, you answered that. That was my problem in last week's episode. Is like, where are all the superheroes? And now that makes sense.
Yep.
You need spies. You need humans. Even though they're impersonating humans, you don't want the public to think fucking Thor's out there whooping people's ass or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
I'm glad they answered that. It made sense.
Me too. I liked it.
Yeah.
I do think we're still going to get Rhodey, though. I do think we'll get War Machine this season.
I do too. I think it's going to be the end, but
yeah.
I hope. Well, not that I like a hope, but like I assume that there's going to be like some bombings or something in the coming episodes where like there's terrorist attacks or whatever from Skrulls, and then like we're going to start seeing like, all right, Rhodey's fucking in to handle this by the end and fly.
I love how Rhodey was at the Peace Summit thing or whatever, and I loved his like, how he's like, you're just accusing us and whatever, and like I thought that whole piece was like so cool about how everyone's thinks that the U.S. has something to do with all the bombings,
right?
Because Fury and Maria Hill were there.
Yeah. I thought that was smart too. It was good. Yeah, I thought the whole episode was like really well done. It was long. It was an hour, which is what we've wanted for all these series. Is like finally give us some meat on the fucking plate. And I thought they did a great job with that and setting it up. And now we have 4 episodes to kind of really knock the storyline out.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I was telling you, I've seen a lot of rumors online, and like if any of these end up being true, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I don't think the one is going to be true. The one that you had mentioned to me that I had said I don't think, just because I don't think.
All right, well, we might as well just say it. Like, I mean, I've seen it online.
It's a rumor. We don't know. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen, but apparently this is a rumor going around online that they're introducing Mystique by the end of this season, and that Mystique has been pretending to be a Skrull to cover her identity during this whole thing, and that it's going to come out by the end of the season that she's not actually a Skrull, or whoever she's impersonating isn't actually a Skrull, it's actually a Mystique. Whether that's true or not, who knows? But like, I think that'd be fucking awesome.
I mean, I think it makes sense, but I think I think there's the big part of why we haven't been seeing X-Men is because they don't want to recommit those actors to the contracts. I think that was a big part of why we haven't seen anything, right?
I don't think it's going to be, whoever like that played Mystique before. I assume it's going to be a new actor.
But what I'm saying is I think the reason why they haven't been able to is because if they include those characters, then I think by contract standards, they have to include the people who played them before. I think that's why they're waiting so long. At least that's what I read, was that's why they can't do X-Men yet. It's because if they put a Cyclops in or something, it has to be James Marsden or, whatever. Right. So,
I mean, I saw that too, but like money talks. I'm sure if they wanted to buy James Marsden out of his contract or whatever to use Cyclops, I'm sure they could.
James Marsden as Mystique.
Let's hope. Bring back Rebecca Romijn.
I would love that.
Yeah, everybody would. I don't know. I think that's a cool premise. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah,
if that's
cool.
how they start introducing X-Men is like slowly and surely. I mean,
just little bits here and there.
There's the other rumor going around that Deadpool is going to dramatically be all revolving around mutants.
Yep.
And
you see that they're saying that Wanda's the villain?
Yeah, I sent you that. Yeah, that Wanda's
crazy.
Wanda's the villain of the movie and apparently is eradicating mutants. And
it's like House of M. That's like the storyline from House of M, where she eliminates all the mutants.
That's what apparently the movie was based off of. Obviously, they can't do it fully because mutants haven't been involved. So, like, they're using the Fox version of the worlds to kill off the Fox mutants, apparently. That's the rumor. So there'll be guest cameos all over the place. But, like, I love that premise. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun idea.
And then her using... Like, apparently, from what I read, that she's absorbing mutants' powers through witchcraft, and then at the end she is killed off, and that power that she has ingested or whatever gets expanded, and that's how we get new mutants in the world.
Interesting. That could be fun.
Is that like she lands on our Earth and dies, and that all the power she's been absorbing gets put out back into the universe, and then we get a whole new mutant gene out in our Earth instead of the Fox universe. I don't know. Cool. Again, I don't know if any of this is true. This is all rumor and speculation, but apparently the Deadpool 3 script leaked. Like, people have read it. I don't know if that's true either, but I'm not looking for it. I don't want to read it. I want some surprises, but I think that premise is cool.
I definitely like the idea of playing in the Fox universe. I think that could be fun.
And I think that makes sense for like bringing back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, you'd have to be in that universe. And
in doing that, you would avoid I mean, you still might confuse the odd person, but I mean, I think it would make it less confusing for, casual viewers who maybe don't understand the whole multiverse thing. And
sure. And like, you could still have it somehow that Wolverine escapes so that Logan still happens and makes sense. Like Cable or something shoots Logan into to keep him in his own timeline, and then Logan happens with Professor X, and that all works.
Yep.
And you just see like stuff like like Storm or Beast or whatever get murdered by Wanda. I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. I wouldn't be against it.
And then maybe that's why Halle Berry's back as rumored to be back as Storm is.
She's like, I'm back. What does she say about toads or whatever? What is it? What happens when a toad gets hit by lightning?
Same thing as everyone else.
Everything else.
It's the worst line ever. I love that she has an accent in that movie, and then it just disappears completely.
And then it's gone. Yeah. That's like Wanda too.
Yeah, totally. She has a Russian accent in the first movie or whatever, and then
first couple, and then that's it.
What happened to your accent? It just went away. Fuck it.
I hexed it away.
And I mean, it's a way to bring back Quicksilver and actually have like that kind of plot makes sense in some way of like bring back Quicksilver, actually have it as like her brother, and I don't know.
And he's like, "You didn't see this coming."
It's so bad. Don't bring back Quicksilver back. Bring back the MC or
Rob Boner or whatever his name was.
That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't think of his name. It's terrible. But yeah, no, it was a great episode. I hope the next 4 are all an hour long and we really get fucking some hearty, like big movement story wise.
I would love that.
I hope they finally realize like they need to move this ball forward and they can't be fucking just like whatever.
Yeah.
Introduce more shit.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Needs to be we need to keep moving at a good pace. We don't have any episodes to waste. So
the other missed opportunity I kind of thought of too during this episode was that the woman doing the interrogating during that meat locker scene or whatever.
Yeah,
they could have really used Julia Louis-Dreyfus to do that.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that girl plays the same character as Louis.
Yeah,
like I feel like they're very similar. I don't know who she's supposed to be, but I don't know either. I feel like they're like very similar.
To me, it was like that would have made way more sense. Is bringing in, I can't remember her name, but like La Fontaine or whatever the fuck her name is in the show.
Valentina Fontaine or something
like that. And then have her and then like have this kind of set up the whole what's that movie that's coming out next year? The fucking Thunderbolts. Is you could have this tie into the Thunderbolts movie of like I don't know exactly what the plot of that movie is, but like I'm sure the Skrull invasion is going to continue past Secret Invasion. So
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that's
they might put it to bed and then have it come back up when either like Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars.
Well, I just think like since there is no Avengers team right now, and like clearly the Skrull invasion is going to be a big deal, and at some point they may need superheroes. Wouldn't it be interesting if they relied on her to bring in them as like the way to defend Earth and like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Yes, it would.
But yeah, it was good. I'm excited for next week. I can't come soon enough.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. It should be good. Should be a gooder.
But yeah,
be here before we know it.
What are you doing on Whip Wednesday this week?
Whip Wednesday this week, I have my friend Face Customs. He's a very good customizer from the UK. And I'm really excited to chat with him. So we're going to just chat and talk about the hobby and all that good shit.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wednesday night, 9 p.m.
There it is. If you're not already following him, go over there and follow at Customs by Matthew on YouTube and Instagram. You can follow me on
I can't hear you because my headphones died.
It's okay. I'm just phasing out the episode.
All right. You're good now. I can hear you now.
Beautiful. If you're not already following him, follow at Customs by Matthew on Instagram, on YouTube. You can follow me at Moose Smoke Media on Instagram and YouTube. Subscribe on podcast services if you're listening to the audio-only version of this episode. We appreciate the numbers. We appreciate the views.
Yes.
Helps channel grow, helps Matt's channel grow, and we always want new, interested viewers in the chat.
And we love to grow.
Nothing better than growing. But yeah, next week, obviously, we'll be talking Secret Invasion 3. We'll talk Always Sunny and whatever the fuck else we watch during the week.
Hey, I think I decided I'm not going to go see Flash, so
that's fine.
If you want to do a spoiler episode where you talk a little bit about it one week, by all means, fill your boots.
No, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say because the universe doesn't even exist anymore, right?
Yeah.
Other than what I talked about, like I loved Michael Keaton in it. I thought the movie was solid. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. I don't know. Like, there's not a whole lot of depth I can get into without like bouncing ideas off of other people.
Sure.
I think it was a fine movie. I think if you're interested in that universe, watch the movie. If you're not, this movie's not going to change that for you. Like, if you really dig The Flash, great. But like, the only reason I really cared about this movie was to see Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, same. That's the only reason I want to see it is Michael Keaton.
And he's great in it. But like apparently that movie went through like 14 different scripts and 4 different endings, and like it changed dramatically. They wanted to have like Henry Cavill in it as Superman, and then that got thrown out. Then they wanted to have The Rock as Black Adam in it, that got thrown out. They wanted to have other characters in it, that got thrown out. Like they went through like 3 or 4 different iterations of how the movie ended, and like yeah, I think that universe is a fucking mess.
I just love that it had a 78% drop off after the first week, and then another 72% the second week.
It bombed. It bombed. Absolutely.
They're saying it won't even hit 300 million. That's so bad.
Oh, it's bombed. Yeah,
it costs to make it. Like, fucking...
But again, like, how do you have people buy in it on a universe that doesn't exist?
True, it's true. Like, what are they gonna do with Aquaman? How's that gonna work?
That movie's gonna bomb.
That movie is gonna bomb.
I think
that will make 9 box office movies in a row for DC Studios that bombed.
Yeah, I mean that probably makes sense. I don't think
like the last movie that made them money. Oh God, this is a stupid live stream. I mean, you're not that far off.
I mean,
I think we offended a Snyderverse fan. I'm just kidding.
That's fine. We're 119 episodes in. If you haven't fucking figured out that this is
you haven't realized
live stream,
that this is not worth your time, then I'm sorry for you.
It's all right. I can show you my nips if it makes you happy.
Yeah. I don't know.
The Snyderverse is a mess, and like I think nobody's gonna buy into these movies because there's no reason to buy into these movies. It's getting reset in 2 years. Like they released the new cast of the new Superman movie.
Yeah. Why is everyone calling it woke Superman?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, James Gunn is anything but woke.
I was gonna say I don't really feel like James Gunn is like woke, but okay. It's like they are white, so I mean, at least there's that, I guess, for those people that want to have that argument.
But it's the same thing. I mean, this is way off topic, but on topic is like Wheel of Fortune's ending, right? And, Pat Sajak's leaving Wheel of Fortune. They announced I saw that Ryan Seacrest is getting the new hosting job on Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, wouldn't it have been so much more interesting if they got like a woman comedian to be the host of that show and then got a male model to be Vanna White?
Oh my God, that'd be funny.
Just like it's been fucking 35, 40 years of a woman flipping letters. Why don't you get a woman to host this fucking show?
Well, Vanna White's not leaving, is she?
I think she's done too. Yeah.
They're a package deal.
Well, they're like 70, man.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Vanna White looks like she's 35, but yeah.
Good job, Vanna.
I don't know. I just find it so weird. I'm like, this is what people want is like another random white ass host that like just follows the same thing. I don't know. It's just so boring. Like, bring some new flavor to the show, man.
Yeah, bring that spice.
I don't know. Same with Superman. It's like I'd be interested to see a different take on Superman. I hope it's interesting, but I don't know. It just seems like he wants to bring it back to its roots of like American homeboy, fucking, Midwest boy growing up, fucking yay America bullshit. And I'm like, I don't know. Superman, he's boring. He's not the least relatable character ever.
Couldn't agree more.
Anyway, I hope you like that Gio Geronimo. Hope that made your night. You're always welcome here, but we're gonna say
you are always welcome here. You can shit talk us all day long. We're good.
I don't get offended.
Yeah, me neither. But we might show our dicks, so heads up.
Yeah, we may just make this a male porn stream where we just make smoochy faces at each other for an hour and a half. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. That ended it on a great note, and
a very good note.
We'll see you next week on Saturday as well. Saturday work for you? I assume
Saturday works.
Okay. We'll be back. Stay tuned for 120. Wow, we're already at 120.
That's crazy, dude.
I know. Fuck? I hope everybody has a great week, and see you later.
Yep. Peace.
Bye.